Holy moly, guacamole. This is definitely the most craziest thing I have ever taken out of my printer. Yes, this is printed with my inkjet printer. Hopefully you can see the texture on this sticker sheet. What the heck is this? My original plan was I wanted to sit down here and play around with some ideas for making your own tape for your junk journals. And then I thought, what if the people don't have tape or don't like to use tape? Is there an alternative? You know that I always think about alternatives for you and also for myself, of course, for making our journals more interesting and using different, how is the word? Substrates, I think. And then I came to the idea to try out something that already brought me some headaches in a different context. But I thought, let's try to print on this clear film self-adhesive by Photo Paper Direct. What is this? This is meant to make stickers. So this is, as it says, self-adhesive, and it's clear and it's like a sticker. The whole thing. And you can print it with your inkjet printer. So I thought, why don't I take something and print it on here? Can you see? And I'm so, in a really positive way, overwhelmed by the result. I nearly can't believe that, because this print here, by the way, I will try to link this down below for you in the description box. I bought this on Amazon Germany. I don't know if it's available overseas, but I will try to link this so that you can check the details about this. And perhaps if you don't want to purchase on Amazon Germany, you can find something similar where you live. But this is nothing else than a printable sticker sheet, which is compatible with inkjet printers. And when I look at this, I'm so amazed about it because it's not flat. If you have something printed, for example this looks a little bit weird because I have torn some pieces off here, but this is a matte photo paper. This is from the same printable like this. And when you print this out on normal photo paper or copy paper, then of course this is flat. Even if this was made with mediums on a real sheet of paper, this paper as well as this paper came from my little series I made with my friend Sasha. As you probably can see here, this is one of our guitar prints. We made paper with the help of a guitar. If you haven't seen that little series, that was so much fun, then please check out the description box. I have linked the series there for you. And we made this with mediums like mica stain spray, acrylic paint, and so on. And of course, on a normal paper, this is flat. You don't have texture. But here on this, it nearly looks like it was really acrylic paint. Yeah, because this black was on the original paper made with acrylic paint. And then I digitized it so that you can print it at home. And that these papers are now available in my shop. Guitar prints, journal backgrounds. The link is down below in the description box. But if you print that to such a sticker sheet, I would say you have nearly the feeling we had when we made the originals because of this gorgeous texture. Amazing. It's just amazing. So my original plan, as I said, was I wanted to make some tape, and I still want to do that. So this video is about making tape for your junk journals. And of course, instead of this, if you, for example, don't have a printer or don't have access to such a sticker sheet, or you don't want to use this, you can use normal tape as well. I will show you some techniques how to turn normal tape into something that you can use for your junk journal, which is then a like a customized tape for your journal with the colors, the patterns, and everything you want to have for your journal. And we will then later on have something to put into our little drawer here from our mini cabinet we made. I have a video about that as well. For all of you who are new here, let me, a little tape on my finger. Let me quickly explain what that is and how I use this. I made this inspired by my big cabinet, where I store all of my pieces, my supplies for junk journaling, or let's say nearly all of my supplies. And I made this to have something on my desk to organize my materials that I want to put into my journal later. Also to create things like, for example, tape, or for example, labels or frames and so on. I have 2 of these with different categories where I then can get rid of all of this chaos on my desk, because when I have all of my materials laying around, then that is like pure chaos. With this, I can have an organization system while working on my journal. So this is meant as a temporarily organization system where I can put all of the things inside I want to use in my journal, and where I can of course also collect things before before I even start. So for example, here in this drawer where it says buttons and beads and labels and frames, I have already put everything inside I could find in my craft room, and what I then can later on use in my journal. So I have a little collection of things that match the color and the theme of my journal. And when I sit here then and work in my journal, then I can just take this little drawer and take the things out, and I have them at hand without disturbing myself, without getting a break into my flow of creating my journal by the need of standing up from my chair and picking the things up from my normal organization system. So that's the plan. There's a video about this available, or basically already 2 videos. The first is where we made this, and the second is where I show you how I plan to use this. And I say plan because this is for me also the first time of using this method, but I can already tell you it is so helpful. Our task for today is filling up this little drawer where it says tape. I have already in here some things that are bought, meaning like bought tape, is that a word? Like this, for example, and this, both of these, and also this washi tape I got from my friend Nicole at Nature Spirit Journals. Nicole, if you're watching, thank you very much again for sending these to me. So that is of course an option if you have tape, especially washi tape, and you want to use it up. You know how that is with washi tape. Put that in here, and then you can use it. Oh, I'm just realizing that I have another tape, I think, which would fit in here. But what I want to do today is, in this video, I want to make my own tape from different materials, different, tape-ish materials. And then they will go in here later, and I can then use them from here when I'm working in my journal. And the first thing is this. I need to start with this because I want to show you what is possible with this kind of material, but we will later on also use this, and I show you different other things. So these are options, and also of course the color palette is an option, red and black. So this is good because when we have this, it's already self-adhesive, and we can later on just cut that into strips like so, or also like so, and then we have our tape within minutes by starting with such a big sheet. The first thing that I want to do is I want to use a stencil on here. If I can find my stencil, which I have already chosen. Yeah, here we go. I have both of these. This one is called THMS 159, and this one is THMS 157. Both are by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. Yes, this is an slippery surface. It's plastic. And yes, you would normally think that these won't work on such a material, but I found out that they do. They dry and they also get permanent on this. I have chosen Brush Corduroy and Vintage Photo Distress Spray Stain. I take a dry, very important, we will come to the theme water on this in a second. Take a dry paper towel or a piece of paper. Don't put anything wet on here. Please don't. And then I do that so that I don't spritz to the other area. I take this. This is now Vintage Photo. I just want to spritz on here to get the pattern of the stencil there. And yes, it looks like a mess, but please believe me, it's going to turn out absolutely amazing. This is a little bit abstract, but I still like this. I take this and press it on here to get the negative impression of this, and of course to don't waste the medium. This I like even better than this, but as Tim would say, you do you, do what you like. Can we get this on here as well? Yes, we can. So let's take the other one. Here it's a little bit white, so perhaps we can even leave this without the paper towel and just spritz carefully. I also want to have a little bit of that here. I mean, this is white now because this material where this is on is white. But you have to have in mind, of course, that all of the white areas later on are transparent. So don't be distracted by that. Okay, I think this is already enough. And now you could think, oh my goodness, this is way too much. It is like little puddles on the material. And yes, that is correct. This paper towel drives me crazy. Go out of my way. This here will take a lot of time to dry, but it will dry on here. This is already almost dry because here is not so much medium with this other technique of using the negative impression of the stencil. You can take your heat tool and dry this carefully, but please make sure that you don't have too much heat in one spot for a longer time. Otherwise, the material gets a little curvy. But if you do that carefully, it is possible to dry this within a few minutes. And what I find the most fascinating thing about this material is that not only spray stain, and with that also distress ink, of course, can dry on here, but the other thing is that you get a texture from the spray, in this case from the spray. I haven't tried it with the distress ink pads yet, but please look, wait, oh my goodness, the sunlight is coming in here really weird. You can see there it is not totally dry yet, but can you see that it is textured? Look, that looks nearly like it is a little bit embossed. Why the heck is that? And how is that possible? It's the same like with the ink from my printer. Here you can see this black comes out like it was made with acrylic paint on the sheet. Can you see these tiny details? That is so amazing. I find that so fascinating. That makes it just, well, I can't believe what I see here. It's so cool. And let me show you what I made already in the German video. So this is already dry. Even there where the spray stain was really much. So this here, for example, is an area like we have on our sheet here now, where we have these puddles. And I had this on my desk for, I would say 45 minutes or so. And now it's completely dry, except here. Can you see this weird smear? This is not dry yet. especially here. And that is very important so that you are not disappointed about this material. Because, look, here's the spray stain spritzed through the stencil. This is the negative impression. Everything, when you let it dry, is completely dry. Yeah, there is nothing coming off. It's completely dry. But you can't spritz water on this now. You can spritz more of the sprays, but you can't spritz water without problems. Because when you spritz water, and that is what I experienced in my bathroom, don't ask. I have made little hints about that accident in my bathroom, but to be honest, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Holy cow. Because I tried in my bathroom, the tiles in my bathroom are not high enough for when I take a shower that the wall doesn't get wet. So I thought, why don't I find a creative solution and take something like this and make a stickable tile for my wall. So I took these sticker sheets, I think 8 DNA 4 sheets. I made something with alcohol ink on these. And I was so proud of myself. The pattern looked so nice. And then I stick that to my wall and I had 2 problems. The first problem was when I went with my finger over the alcohol ink on the sticker sheet, it came off. And that is the fact on this paper here as well. The other one was a different brand, but it seems to be the same thing with these kinds of sticker sheets. I can't recommend to use alcohol ink on here. I have tried it in the German video already, which I recorded already, the German video for today, where I do the same idea, but with different patterns, as you can see, but it's the same idea. But I can't recommend it, because if you then go over this, somehow, and I'm really confused because now it doesn't happen anymore. Why? This is alcohol ink, this little area here. That is really crazy, because when I went with my finger over this in the German video, I had it on my finger, and the same thing happened in my bathroom. And then I was like, oh my goodness, what the heck is that? There was like brown, like black brown dust on my tiles, on my fingers, on my body, everywhere. And I was like, why the heck is that coming off? Because it's alcohol ink on plastic. Yeah, so this material must have something in it which is not so compatible with alcohol ink. Then I thought, okay, I don't care about that. I will just get rid of the dust from the alcohol ink with water. So I have taken my shower thing and went over the sheets which were stick to my wall with water. And then I got, oh my goodness, I can't even think about that, because that gives me goosebumps all over my body, because I thought I have ruined my bathroom, because this surface suddenly turned into slime. I will do it here even if I then ruin this thing. Can you see that? It was like caramel sauce, like really the slimiest thing you have ever experienced, and it all came off. And that was obviously because of the water. I experienced later, if I spritz water, like I did it here, and let it air dry, then it gets permanent again and it is not slimy anymore. But if you want to avoid to get the slime, don't spritz water. Yeah, otherwise you would have to let it dry for several days. This, I guess, will take several days to dry. But then when it is dry, it is permanent, and you know, when you then go over it, then it is like dry to the touch ist, glaube ich, das Wort, was man da sagen muss. Barbara, Hilfe. I don't know how to say that. Then it's like, you know, you can then, when it's dry, go over it with your fingers. It will not come off, but you can't add more water then, because then it gets slimy again. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully. And with that, I thought, why don't we try something? Because here we have now areas which are already dry. So here, for example, it's already dry. Here as well. But here, it isn't dry yet. So why don't we try to take a book page and I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing here and if that will work, but that is experimenting, isn't it? So this is a normal book page. The first thing is I will just press it here where the spray stain is not completely dry yet. I'm going to take my, here, how is this called? Bone folder. Hoping to get something from the book page to this sheet. Okay. Nothing from the book page on the sheet, but obviously some weird phenomenons with the spray stain. Why the heck is this so yellow now? I mean, here I could already see that as well. When I got the smear, this slime, and I removed it, it was this kind of yellow as well. And I was already like, oh my goodness, yellow, you know. But if that was a possibility to, if you get the slime, to make this work, I mean, why don't we do that then? Also, this gives us really nice collage fodder, I would say. I mean, if we do more of that to the sheet. So that means what happened here? The spray stain, where it was too much, got removed. It came to our book page, obviously with this slimy stuff. And we got a color which we haven't expected to get. At the same time, oh my goodness, I can also see that we got more texture. Now it's not slimy anymore. So that means I have obviously lifted off the excess. But can you see that it is textured again, or even more texture? How can I say that? These outlines are really raised, like embossed or so, or like the tiniest amount of texture paste. That is absolutely amazing. Oh my goodness. Will that happen here as well? And what happens with the print if we add water? Can we make such an effect? I mean, now it's not slimy anymore. Now we don't have a problem anymore. Can we? Where's my water? Let's try to drip some water on here. And let's see if we can get something like this only from the print as well. I'm sorry, as well. I think we have to wait a little bit until this can react. But while we are waiting, we can try to take another book page and do this area, because here is also way too much of the spray stain. And to be honest, I'm totally in love with this yellow. I don't know what the yellow will do with my journal and the plan I have for my journal. The colors are obviously red, black and brown. Different browns, but the main colors are red and black. I have no idea what is going to happen now, because this will be part of my journal, but we trust the process. That looks absolutely fantastic. Holy moly. I think I don't need a jelly plate anymore. Just a thought. I take the book page and put it here where it's wet. And I say that because this is controllable for me. I mean, of course, it's plastic, it's a sticker, it's not the same like made with a jelly plate, yeah? But I think if you struggle with the jelly plate or you don't have a jelly plate, this is a great alternative. Because this totally reminds me to things you could get with a jelly plate as well. I'm freaking out. I am freaking out. That means we can remove what we printed just with water. How crazy is that? We can splatter water. We can then get the coolest collage fodder. The ink from our printer is not wasted at all because, I mean, look at this gorgeous piece of paper. This is not slimy then anymore. Does that mean, I mean, if it means that, then I'm freaking out. Does that mean I can take a stencil, spritz water to the stencil, and then get a pattern here? How long do I have to wait? And holy moly, wait. What happened? The ink from the sheet transferred to this paper, right? Does it also transfer to the stencil now? And if yes, can I then get two things from one? Because, you know, then I could take this oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What the heck is happening here? Sorry. I mean, what is that? How can I now? Can I? It's there, but not so crazily visible. Can you see? Very subtle. Here, oh my goodness. You don't even need medium to do this. You just need a print on this sticker paper. What the heck? I want to get this as well. Give me a new paper. What if I spritz water, more water to this, so that it gets perhaps a little, I don't even know the word, what it then gets slimy again, or how can I say that? I don't know. Please transfer to the book page. Transfer to the book page, please. Yeah. Not what I expected, but it is there. But what if we now spritz spray stain, come out, there. What the heck? And what if we spritz a lot of the spray stain here, so that we get something we had here? Oh, that is not enough. Not enough in one spot, I guess. I try to get puddles. Oh, that is, oh, it's possible if you do it like this. Will then this red pattern get yellow if I take a book page Or I guess that would work with, perhaps it works with a paper towel or so as well. But having the book page, that is way more interesting, because then we have collage photo at the same time. That's why I use the book page and not a paper towel. Oh no. Oh yes. Okay. There where it was red, it turned yellow. Here not. But somehow it worked. Somehow it turned yellow. Yeah. I'm speechless. Obviously, when there's not so much of the spray stain, the effect is lighter. You can see this is yellow, but not as yellow as this is. What if we took a totally different color than we already have? I want to know that. Even if this then later on doesn't fit to my journal anymore, but I want to know that now. I'm going to take peacock feathers. So let's give this a little time to react, and let's here do the other thing without waiting. Somehow yellow as well. I mean, I have the rest of the peacock feathers here. I mean, that looks really interesting. And it's really hard to understand what's happening here. I think it was not long enough that we left this on here. So let's do it like this. Let's put this aside to sit on here, and let's then later on remove it with the book page. And while we are waiting for that to happen, I want to take some like normal tape and do some things with that as well. For the first idea, I'm going to take this plastic bag just to be able to take a normal tape. This is the Scotch Magic tape, and I want to put a few pieces of that on here so that the tape later on is still sticky, and that I can then peel it off. Where are my scissors? That I can then peel it off from this paper bag, plastic bag, and use it in my journal. And then I'm going to take some alcohol ink. I'm going to start with Poppy Field. I will show you in a second an alternative. If you don't have alcohol ink, you can also do something else with this normal tape. But I want to show you options with this video, or basically with all of my videos. So I think it's not so important what you use. It is important that you use something and that you create something. That sounds so weird, because if you see an idea, perhaps you want to try it out exactly like the person did it. But I often experience that it is not so important to do exactly what the person has done, because with not doing that and doing something else with the materials you have, the colors you have, the the mediums you have, you get something outstanding and something that is your own idea, something that you have come up with. That is, I would say, I'm just realizing that it is exactly what I did in the beginning of the video, because I thought about what if someone doesn't have tape, doesn't have alcohol ink, then something like this would be an alternative. I thought about something, perhaps I don't know if someone has done this before. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know. I have the feeling that I'm the first person who spritzes with spray stains on this. And I think I'm also the first one who has found out that the mediums like Distress Ink and Distress Spray Stain can work on something like this. But I'm not 100% sure because I'm not God. Yeah. But my search on YouTube tells me that there's no other video available like this and the others I made with these mediums on that surface, or that kind of surface, printable acetate, let's call it like that, because it's basically, yeah, overhead transparency is printable acetate, isn't it? Sticker paper is printable acetate, isn't it? And I think I'm the first person who did that, but what I'm trying to say is, with thinking about that, finding alternatives for you in case you don't have this, I found new ideas and I found unique ideas. I found things that work for me, that I like to do, that I enjoy doing. And I think that is the essence of this whole thing, isn't it? It's not about freaking out because you don't have the same materials like the other person has, but it's about thinking about alternatives and using what you have. I mean, it doesn't help if you have a craft room full of stuff and you buy the things you see in videos and use those instead of using your things up. I mean, if you are a collector and it's necessary that you leave the packages closed, please just do that, yeah? Do you know what I mean? But if that is your jam, collecting things instead of using them, then please just do that. But do you know what, also, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Where's my paintbrush? This is just a little container where I just put some alcohol in, and here's some alcohol ink left on the sides. I don't care about that, or it's the opposite thing. I appreciate that because then my alcohol gets a little dirty and I get, for my taste, nicer results when I splatter on this now. If you then imagine this was glued down or sticked down to a page where something is underneath, like for example some writing or so, then it looks really nice. You could even think about stamping on this. But what I want to do here is I want to take some black acrylic paint and splatter to this. What I also like to do is, where are my scissors? Please do that when this is dry. I just do that because, you know, I'm filming here and I don't have time. You know, cut this into pieces so that you can get a better idea of how this will look in the end. I will do only 2 to not get my scissors too dirty, but I think you can imagine what I mean. When you cut this, then you see only this little portion and not the whole sheet anymore. This should have been enough time. Why is that so different than this? Perhaps it was not long enough on there yet. But it is somehow yellowish as well. Do you know what we are going to do? I will have a little bread or something, like a little bread break. And then we will lift this off and see what we get here. Okay. A slice of bread with cheese later. Let's take this. Why is this so intense yellow and this is like nearly white? I mean, I can see that it is not totally white, but it is nearly white, isn't it? Why? Why? Somehow I have the feeling that with my excitement, I did something different than here, but I can't get what it is. And with this technique, we also got a lot of open spaces here now. I think it could look good if we would stamp a little bit to this. I'm sure you can't see that, but when you look at the single letters of the script stamp, can you see that it is matte and the rest around it is glossy, and it also looks a little bit raised. That looks so interesting. Oh, I love this. So let's cut this into pieces. I'm going to take my decal trimmer to cut this because I thought, why not? Because then when we cut this, we get this interesting edge. And now I can of course decide how wide I want to have my strips. And you can also decide to cut like smaller pieces in a like label shape or label size, or how can I say that? I also enjoy these longer strips. And of course, if you now take this, and I mean, look how cool this looks when it's cut apart. Somehow this is now a piece of art by itself, and every piece is unique. And I really, really like that. And at the same time, they fit all together. And that is really cool. You can take this, and please excuse this, I have already done something with this for the German video. So this was just an example sheet. So you can now take this off, of course. And it's, of course, transparent. So that means if we stick it down here, we see through the tape what's underneath. And I don't know if you can get a more customized, personalized tape than this. This is just amazing. And if I look at this, I mean, this is one of the guitar prints as well. The colors are obviously, I mean, the red from here is the same red here, like here, because it's the same medium and from the same printable. But even with the peacock feathers here, I would say it still fits and it's somehow interesting. And of course, you can make your own tape, which is then matching this paper by sticking normal tape. Is this only one? No, it's two. Sticking normal tape to a paper and then tear it off, and then you get something like this because the paper then sticks to this. Then you have something like this, which is also then matching the papers you have in your journal. And when you have that, then you can take all of your tape and put that here into your little storage system. These are also almost dry. Then I still have this, which I can cut into strips. I think that is way too much, but you know, I make videos, then it's automatically somehow too much. But if that happens to you without that you make videos, that is good, because if you only use a few pieces of this, then you have still a ton left over, which you can put into your storage, and you have automatically at the same time build your stash, not only for this journal you are working on, but for future journals as well, because this can be used for future journals, of course. I don't know what I will do next. I have to decide that spontaneously, because I have to do some things off camera as well to prepare my next videos. But yeah, I hope that you like this idea, and I hope that you will follow me on this journey, and that you perhaps you have also, I would so wish for that, that you also perhaps have taken out some red and black things. If you have done that already, is that also such an unusual color combination for you as it is for me? Because this, it makes me just so happy, but at the same time it's so crazily different to what I normally would do. And that is good. That is just good, because I love these results and I would not have them on my desk without this color palette, and that makes it really special. So yeah, that's it. This will go back into my little drawer here. This is the drawer, into my little cabinet. And then I can be happy with this. This, when I look at this, when I have this on my desk, it makes me just so happy only looking at it. But when I then open these things and I can see I have this here, and I don't have to stand up from my chair when I sit and work here, because I have everything in here, that is just so great. It's just fantastic. And it feels, when it's closed, it feels like it is a really secret collection of treasures, and that makes it even more interesting, especially because this is brown and so vintage, and when you open it you see these colors. That is so cool. I like that. Okay, that's it. Go and make your tape, and see you next time. Bye bye.